Welcome. They call me Big Herc, and on this channel you will see basic motorcycle install videos, wind therapy, vlogging, just our motorcycle life, enjoying each other's company and meeting new people and going to new places. My adventurous side exploring life with my not so adventurous wife, but we enjoy doing things together and it's a match made in heaven.
What's up, everybody? It's your guy here, Herc. Another episode here on Big Herc 80. As you can see, I'm on the bike, and I didn't put a video out about it, but on our way back from New Orleans, had issues with my bike. I know Views on 2 were just talking about it. He had issues with his. If you ride these motorcycles, I mean, stuff's gonna happen. I mean, it's a little different when you on a motorcycle and you out of state, away from home. It's just part of it. So had an issue with my brakes on the way home, and actually all worked out. We left a little later than we expected to, but that was a good thing, because on the way home she sat there, she's like, babe, I'm getting cold. And I was like, okay, what do you want me to do? Like, and some people were like, man, that was a butthole response. But what I was doing was, sometimes she doesn't want me to actually do anything. She just, or it's venting to me. That's just part of it. And then sometimes she actually wants me to do something. So she was like, well, I don't want y'all to pull over and this and that. And I was like, babe, we'll pull over. Don't worry about that. I mean, if you cold, you cold. And she was like, yeah. So I got with my guy that was up in, Lord, just watch on me on this Alcohol Highway. Nickname used to be I'll Kill You Highway. But back to the story. And I talked to him, I got his attention. I motioned for him, hey, we gotta pull over. So we went to pull over, and guess what? Would have never thought this, but I didn't have any rear brakes. My wife sat there and I'm like, oh crap. She said, what? I said, I ain't got any rear brakes, or we don't have any rear brakes. She was like, what do you mean? I said, just what I said, we ain't got no rear brakes. So of course I still had my front brakes. I geared it down, got over to the shoulder, and as soon as I went to get her jacket, or her jacket was in the saddlebag, I was looking at the back rim, and I could see where the rim had been ate up. So I sat there and I said, oh crap, I knew we had a bigger problem. So I got the saddlebag off, and when I got the saddlebag off, I posted a picture, because I didn't record anything, not really. I did it short, but I posted a picture. My actual caliper was no longer attached to the bike. The two bolts that hold the caliper in place was not sheared off, not like partially in, they was gone. So the caliper had got up into the rim, had took part of the caliper off, done scratched up the rim. And the reason I said it was a blessing, because if she had never got cold, we would have never tried to I would have never had used the rear brake. If I'd have never used the rear brake, we would have sat there, and who knows how much longer we would have rode before I would have known that we didn't have any rear brakes. The wheel or the caliper could have got lost in the rim. And of course, y'all know, if it had got lost in there just right, it would have instantly stopped the wheel, would have went down. It could have actually broke the line. Now I'm getting just straight brake fluid going under my back tire, which is not a good scenario either. So really, there was no alternative scenario that would have been good. So we sat there, started, I called AAA, which I knew AAA wasn't going to be able to help me. Or to cut them love jugs on. But I knew AAA wasn't going to be able to help me, because that ain't really what they do. You know what I'm saying? They'll tell you, but they don't have parts. They'll give you gas. They'll do stuff like that. They'll jump you off. But they don't have parts to actually get you back on the road. And truthfully, they might not even have the know-how. So we started Googling, because like I said, it was early. We started Googling 24-hour mechanic, stuff like that. Every last one of them we called, nobody answered. So by this time, my buddy had looked up AutoZone, I think it was, or Vans. One of them parts stores was about to open. So he actually went to the parts store for us. He sat there, and we had already looked up what size boat it took, and we had an idea. But he done something that I thought was dang near genius. He actually went out to his bike, took the boat out, one of his boats. Cause like I said, there's two of them that hold it in. He actually took one of his boats out, and he verified it that way. He was like, I need a boat just like this. I need two of them. So we got the boats, and he headed back. But while he was there, I actually took my flathead screwdriver, because I keep tools on my bike at all times. So I actually had a screwdriver, and I was trying to press the pistons back into the caliper. One side would go in perfectly fine. I couldn't get the other side in. It wasn't budging. I called him. I said, hey man, go ahead and get a C-clamp also. He got a C-clamp. Well, when he got back with the C-clamp, we started trying to get it. Man, that piston was not going back into the caliper. So it was seized up. Uh-oh, let me get around this truck. So it was seized up. It wasn't going anywhere. But we had the boats. So what I did, I took one brake pad out, left one side in, like the C size where the seized piston was. I took that brake pad out. The other side I left in. I put the caliper back on, and we sat there and started out on the road. We did put Loctite on it just to make sure that it wasn't going anywhere. But we started looking. I said, well, we'll try to find a Harley. Well, this car don't know what he doing. The first Harley shop that was open was basically about 3.5 hours away, that was on our route. You know what I'm saying? Without us going out of the way. So off we went. It wasn't my plan to ride without any rear brakes, but I mean, stuff happens. So we took off. We started riding. We got there. Would have never thought this. We got there. I told the guy what was going on. He was like, buddy, we don't have any rear calipers. I'm like, you don't have any rear calipers? He said, nah, we don't keep them in stock. So he did look up for us on his computer. There was no other Harley shop on our route home that was going to be open on Sunday and have a caliper in. He gave me two options. Now, mind you, we are in, I don't remember if it was Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, but we was in Alabama. Mind you, that's where we was. He said the ones that are showing open today and have one in stock is Savannah, Georgia, and around Middle Tennessee. I'm like, man, that's out of the way either way. I said, so I might as well ride home without it. So that's what we did. But while at the dealership, didn't realize it, my buddy Tez, while he was going to get stuff to help me fix my bike, his bike actually messed up. And if people, I don't know the correct term of it, but it's not the shift linkage, but it's that little arm that the shift linkage connects to, and then but your heel toe shifter connects to, you know, it's got that rod that goes through it. It was the piece on the backside. Well, actually both of them was bad. So now we lost 2 hours for my bike on the interstate, and now he got his bike worked on. So when we were supposed to get home at 3 o'clock, yeah, we didn't get home till later that evening. But yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Jogo. If you don't know who Gojo is, go check him out. Gojo Adventures. He actually didn't realize it was us. We was on the side of the road. He made a beeline straight to us. He come over, and then once he seen us, you could see his reaction change. He said, man, I didn't even know this was y'all. And we talked about it. He was like, what can I do to help? I was like, honestly, there ain't nothing you can do. The best thing you can do is really just go ahead and head home, because he had a further ride than us. The weather was showing it was going to rain, all that. So I said, man, you go home. So he did. Shout out to him though, because that was just a true rider. He said, man, if I see motorcycles on the side of the road, I stopped. Because he said I would want somebody to stop for me. He said, so I stopped. He said, so he took off. He got home safely. Of course, he got wet. But man, it was just, I had another guy, actually, that was local. He come by in his truck when my buddy was going to get the parts. Well, he come by in his truck, and he was like, man, he said, I'm just checking on y'all. He said, when I was taking my wife to work, and we was right outside of Slidell, which is outside of New Orleans. He said, when I was taking my wife to work, I noticed it was 2 bikes over here. And I was like, if I'm on my way back home, if they still there, I'm gonna stop. He asked what could he do. He had some tools at home, and I said, man, I said, we got tools. I said, now we just waiting on the boats to get back from the hardware store. I said, I do appreciate it. So shout out to him if he's watching. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, but now we got started home. Well, of course, we hit some rain and outside of Chattanooga. I should have put my rain gear on, but it had been raining off and on the whole time down there. So I said, after I change my glasses, going, if I think it's gonna rain, or I think it's gonna get dusk, or it'll start getting a little dark, I take my tinting off. Cause see, I always usually got my tinting actually on under my helmet. And then when it starts getting to where it's gonna rain and get dark, I put on my yellow tinted ones. I put them on, and I should have said at least put my pants on. Well, I didn't, and we got drenched. We was about 35 minutes from home, and I mean, we got drenched. So, yeah, you live and learn. But it was one of them where we didn't we didn't go under underpass or anything like that. So it was like, we pulled over, we just gonna keep getting wet. And it was a cold wet, let me tell you. Now, I'm actually heading to the shop, and they are gonna make it right. I talked to him when we got back in town. He could tell my face, I think something was wrong. And he was like, what's wrong, or what happened, or whatever. He looked, I seen him in the pictures. He went straight to the computer and was like, okay, what rim is it? What manufacturer, what model, this and that. They got the rim coming. I figured they wouldn't have it in stock. He told me, he said, let's wait before you bring the bike, because I would rather do it all at once if they have the wheel in stock, just to be able to knock it out. Figured they didn't, because nobody keeps nothing in stock. That's why I'm actually heading now to go ahead and get the brakes fixed for Traveling Towels Run to the Hills 5. Me personally, I thought it was going to be a lot worse than what it was to ride that far. Wouldn't ride at all without the rear brake. But guess what? It surprised me. Now, of course, when you was going in the parking lots, let's see, gas stations, stuff like that, I didn't have it. So it was a little leery because I didn't have it. And when I slow maneuvering, going to the parking lots and all that, I drag the rear brake. I think most people do. So that was a little different. And when I told my wife, I said, man, this is weird riding without a rear brake. She actually got a little worried. And I told her, I said, babe, I had to explain it to her. It's not that it's dangerous to do per se, but if you're used to having one, and then all of a sudden you try to reach down and you got to keep telling yourself, don't hit it, don't hit it. Just because I didn't want to do any more damage. So we did make it. The good Lord watched over us as we traveled back home, as well as our friend and his wife. But yeah, it was just different. So yeah, I'm going down here at least get this first part started and let them make it right, so I can be on the road this weekend. And then when the wheel comes in, they'll call me, and then I'll be back down here to get my rim put on. Alright, we got that took care of. Now I gotta head back to home and try to get a haircut. My barber gonna be on vacation the next few weeks, so let me go ahead and get it cut now before Run to the Hills. I appreciate the shop. They actually done what they said they was gonna do. Still waiting on the rim to come. but that's just part of it. But the brakes feels good. Everything is swapped out, ready to go. Thank you to everybody that tuned in. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time.